All right, so feel free to post your tickers in the group chat while I go through the futures. So on the S&P 500, we had this big gap up, 27 points. The estimated, let me show you this. The SPX implied move for this Monday was 35 points. So we practically already moved the entire expected move. So if you sum here with this, it's like about 35. So the options were implying a 35 move for Monday, and we gapped up all that already. So that's something to consider. Now this is all-time highs. So where are we going from here? There are many ways you can analyze that. You can go into the intraday and weekly pivots. So let's check it out real quick. So as you can see, the futures gapped up right above this R2 pivot on the day and the weekly pivot. And now it lost it, and now it's retesting. So we need to reclaim this for more upside. And that level on the S&P futures is 29.7217. So if we don't reclaim that, let me show you, it's gonna form that traditional setup that we like, which is retest and fail, and then retest the lower level. So it's important that it reclaims that for more upside. So you can even say that this level here, the 29.72, is going to be the line in the sand for the futures. So keep that in mind when you're trading tomorrow. Upside, we have next at 29.8792 and 29.90, which is also the last quarter pivot. So we are starting a new quarter today. So as you can see, the purple line just go up to here. Now we have new purple lines, new quarter pivots. Okay, so that's going to be 29.90. It's going to be very interesting if we get there. But we need to reclaim this. Reclaim, hold, and then we go. So what we have right now is like this. So we need to push through, hold, and then go. So you have A or set B, case A, case B, that it can happen. So that's something we're going to watch for sure tomorrow. Let me delete all this. Okay. You can see it's struggling a little bit. But we're going to go back to that during the stream just to see how it's going. Okay, so let's check gold. So gold, the Friday morning, I think it was Friday, the day that he split the JNUG, I think it was Friday morning. I told Dave, he asked me usually when you split what happens, and I say usually when you split the indexes, usually you have a downside. And I said on top of that, I think we're gonna go down. This is the pattern I'm watching for. And look where it gapped down right here, and now it's bouncing off this monthly pivot 13. Let me change this. That's the 1388.80. So it bounced right there. Probably maybe retest over here. You see all these wicks. Let me mark I don't know if you guys can see here. So we're probably gonna retest and then we go from there. Either we're gonna close the gap or we gonna do something like continuation pattern like this. And then we see when it goes here, what it's gonna do. Is it gonna flush more or is it gonna bounce again? Let's check. Natural gas. So we have a little, it gapped up and then sold off. So this is a previous support resistance line I had when we were bouncing around here to look at. And it looks like it still want to be part of the, somehow, the setups. So energy needs to hold this 2.317, or we might retest over here again the 230 and then the 228. So we need to bounce here. Really need to bounce from here. So it came over here. Let me mark. Came back down, kind of reclaimed. Now we need to hold this, and so we can test first over here again, and then ultimately this is the target at 2.40. Let's check oil. Also gapped up, but it sold off a little bit. Has a big gap, but it couldn't hold. Yeah, so what we're looking at is all this resistance here. Right here. And right here. So this is gonna be a little zone, resistance zone that we need to push through for more upside. So if we can't break this, probably gonna retest this 58s. And if we break, we're gonna retest the 6188 next. But it's interesting that it gapped up and sold off that quickly. I'm not sure if anybody else is still on silver, but let's check it out. So silver is interesting. Silver is the other way around. It gapped down and bounced off the pivot, just like gold did. 1515. So this is going to be the main support zone for silver this next month coming. So that's where it has to hold. And this is going to be, this here is going to be the resistance. So you're going to be trading between those two zones until it decides what direction it wants to take. Okay, let's go to the tickers. Give me 1 second. Short Hammer, can you confirm on the chat that you're hearing me? I just want to make sure. Okay. So you see how it's rejection doesn't. We go back to yes after some time. Now let's check Roku. Still trying to update the chart. Let me go to another one and come back. Okay. So Roku, I have been watching this trend line right here, this 4-hour trend line. And I really think we're gonna test here. And that's what I wanted to watch for long. If we can't hold this, then we're gonna test 83, 85, 83.56, 84.64 levels. So if we can hold this, we're gonna test over here. But I'm really watching this to hold right here. Hopefully we can get a sell-off on Monday. It's only like 3 points down, which is nothing for Roku. So maybe a quick sell-off and then we can write it up. Now, if it doesn't hold, I'm gonna cut it pretty quickly because I'll be watching for these zones here. Let's check the week. So the main weekly is at 94.83, so it's a long way to go there. This is going to be a strong resistance, 95, 94, 96, 11. This is the new month main pivot on confluence with the yearly pivot. So that's something we want to watch. If we go there, it may be even worth to take a short here if we get there Monday. 96.11, 95.94. And then we watch here. This is also worth taking a shot on the short, depending on how it gets there. And then write it down. But this is the level I really want to buy it. So let's see what happens. Let's check Disney. So Disney has been bouncing left and right from our pivot zones. If anybody's following this, probably getting a lot of success in terms of accuracy. Let me delete all this. So we'll see where we're gonna gap up the morning. It couldn't quite go there over here, 140.49, where we're gonna keep an eye on it. The key resistance to watch for is this 141.21. If we can break that, then we're probably gonna retest very quickly the 143.19. For downside, the key level is gonna be this 138.21. So that's something to watch for. The weekly mains at 139.73. You see all this confluence. That's what I always like to look for. So we're trading above all this. So this is going to be a key support zone for tomorrow. Something to keep an eye on it. We trade right here. So let's say we gap up a little bit. Maybe we can get a retest here for us to get an entry. Let's say we retest So watch for support to hold, and then reclaim, and then hold the top of the zone, and then we go back up. If we lose this, then I'm definitely looking for a short from here to here at least. Main goal is 138.21 for the short, but this is also a level to keep an eye on. Okay, let's check ZM. So ZM is looking like a bear flag. I don't know if you guys can see it. Like this, right at the pivot. So this is something I'm gonna watch for sure for a continuation to the downside towards 85.36 first. Then if you lose that, I'm looking for 83.07 and then 80.31. This is a trade we called for a short here. It was bear flagging, same setup, a bear flag retest on the pivot. And if we fail to hold this, then we're gonna get a short. That's that classic setup that I really like. When you go above, lose the key level, retest, and then it goes down. That's the same setup I'm watching over here. And I wanna see if we can get a continuation to the downside. Now, if we reclaim this pivot 90.59, 90.90, I'm gonna look for a long, maybe 4 points up. That would be nice. So it has a lot of range to the downside and to the upside. The downside has more range than the upside, but still interesting. Okay, so main levels to watch. Let me load some more info. Okay. So as you can see, the main weekly pivot is at 91.63, which is right above that that pivot that has been flagging on it. So this is going to be strong resistance. It's also trading so far below the main day pivot. So let's say we have a little gap up here. Watch for a fail on this zone. Then maybe we can get the same setup, fail, retest, and then we go down. First is going to retest here. Then you watch for the same setup for a continuation. So if you shorted over here, watch for partial here. And then you see if you can get more downside. If we hold above this zone, then we watch for upside to 94. Okay, yeah, I really like Zoom. Okay, let's see. We have been following KSS. Have been calling this for a couple of weeks, I believe. I'm waiting for the downside to settle. So we bounce off the pivot 45.12. We have members that grab calls on this, and they got some good profit. We went to that same resistance point, retested, proved support on that zone here, and now we're pushing through these key levels, which is 48.09, 47.64. So this needs to break for more upside. If we break this, I will not be surprised if we can get to 49 and then that 50, 84, 51, 49. But this is going to be strong resistance. So let's see how it goes. Hopefully it can even gap up and then retest, hold, and go. Let's see intraday. Yeah, so the weekly pivot is way down there, 46.86, which is a good sign. That means it is bullish already for the week before it started until it holds this. So our stop loss is clearly going to be 46.86 if we enter long on it. So let's watch very carefully this setup. I really like KSS. I have been calling KSS from down here, and I still like it. Let's see how it goes. If we can't break and hold this, then we go for short. There is nothing wrong in riding both sides. So if we can't break this, we watch for the short setup. First partial here, and then we go from there and see where we can take it. BYND, one of the chat room's favorite. And see how perfect goes on the pivot. That's an IPO, never have been there, but the pivot said, yes, this is resistance, yes, this is resistance, yes, this is resistance, yes, this is resistance. So if you have been following the pivots that we post every day, you'll be knowing where to take profits and where to short the stock. Now, the key support zone is going to be 152.74 for this month. We can say this is going to be important level. It has been an important level for all month. And we have taken good trades off of it all month. I want to grab it exactly. It's 145.04, I believe. So let's mark that. Okay, leave it like that. It's a zone. It doesn't need to be precise. So that's something to watch. If we lose this 145.02, we may reach this 135.85, which is going to be the main quarter pivot for BYND. If we lose this, it can get ugly. So this is very important to hold. For upside, it needs to break above 156 and hold. So it needs to stay above 156 right here for to have a bullish week. On the day, it needs to break above 162.60, 163 for a bullish day. So we're right here, right now. If we don't gap up, it's going to be something like this. It needs to hold, break and hold to go. If it doesn't hold, we're going to retest that 156 first. Then it needs to hold. If it doesn't hold, then we're retesting that key support zone for the month. Now, if we hold, the next is going to be this 166 area. The 168.69 is going to be important. It's the main weekly that we called Friday, and we took some nice trades from there. As you can see, it really respected that level. Push through, couldn't hold, retest, was short. Push through, couldn't hold, retest, was short. Couldn't hold, short. So that's how we trade pivots, which is the same as you have a support and resistance line. But this is how I trade it because I notice that's how most algos trade. If we don't hold, we have that impulsive move. So that's what I always wait for. I don't get anything in between. This is not interesting to me. This was interesting because it bounced right there on the daily pivot. So this is a good short, this is a good long, good short. This is nothing for me. Maybe you could try to short this retest on this pivot here is the good downside. So that's okay, 3 points. Then you short the pivot again. Okay. Let's check this. Let's see which one. KTOS. 1 second. Okay. So we have been trading off this quarterly pivot. That's the key resistance. It has been the key resistance for this entire period here. And that's what you have to watch if you want to take a long. So the next target will be 2369 and then the 2434, 2450s. If we can't break this again, we're going to retest the 2218, and that's where we're going to decide, are we going to start a downtrend on it or not? So if we can't hold this retest, then we can't hold. That's where it's going to be the turning point for the stock. I'm going to retest here, see if it doesn't hold, but then if we start already a downtrend, if it doesn't hold, then we're going to retest right here, and that's where we're going to buy. So set an alert. If you want to buy the stock, set an alert to 2012, or let's say 2050, and wait for it. If you want to put also alert at 2150 and 2225, that's fine as well. But just keep in mind those are going to have to hold. This is the strongest support right here. So yes, it can hold, but watch for the downtrend if it starts to happen. Let's see. I just want to see the weekly pivot. Weekly pivot's at 2244, which is around here. Makes sense, aligns with all this. So downside, watch for the zone 2269, 2287 not to hold Monday. First partials are here, and then you go from there. This is the key support that we showed over here. Upside, we have the one that we talk about, 2340, 2370, the 24, 2450, and 25. Let's check, what is the name? STZ. So STZ had earnings. It couldn't hold the pivot, went back down, bounced off the quarterly, but it still looks like sellers around this area. So I wouldn't be surprised if we retest this 194.23, 191.36 zone. And if we lose that, we're probably going to see the 188 and 184 next. So we have this here, right there. So those are the levels we'll be watching for. Let's mark this one as well. Right there. So for upside is to reclaim this 200 mark, then break through here, break and hold, and then going to retest the 206. So those are clear levels that we're going to follow to trade this stock. We have a trend line here. I'm not sure if it's, I don't know if it's a trend line at all, but so far it is until it's proving otherwise. A funny thing how it goes right here, but we'll see. I don't like too much to have a trend line with this. It's just a weird shape for me. I would like more. I like more this trend line, for example, than that one. So that's something to keep in mind. Maybe we retest this trend line when it's holding here. So we will see. Something to watch for sure. The main zones for Monday is going to be 196.69, 197.93. If we hold, we test at 200, and then from there we see if we can break and hold. If we don't hold this, we're going to retest the 194, the 192.80, then 191. So that's a lot of range that we can play off. Let's check Netflix. I had this alert here, but it didn't trigger. Let me remove. So as you guys can see, Netflix really loved those pivots. It couldn't hold here. See, this is the perfect example of that setup I showed you. Go through, can't hold, retest, and then have that downside. So that was just a perfect trade right there if you had the levels and you were watching the stock at this time. Now we came here and we couldn't break again, even though a little lower high than before, but we came down, retest this, and looks like he wants to hold. So maybe we can see another push through. I'm gonna know tomorrow, which is gonna be interesting to see if he's gonna gap up with the market. If he doesn't hold this, then it's definitely gonna test 361.99. And if it doesn't hold, then 358.32, and this is gonna be, let me mark for you. This is definitely gonna be the line in the sand for Netflix. If we get here, this definitely needs to hold. So if you want, you can set up an alert. You can put maybe to 359.50, so it gives you time to get there, and then you see how it's going to react. Also, maybe alert over here at 363, so you can check how it reacts to this 361.99 level. So that's what I'm going to be watching on Netflix. It definitely looks interesting. It definitely has range. Those are two things that we always look for. The main weekly pivot is 366.87. So that's the bullish bearish line for the week. The day is at 368. So that's something to watch. If we can't reclaim this, then we're going to retest the main weekly. And if the same story can't hold, retest the lower pivots. Now, if we gap up, let's say we gap up, let's see, 367, 2 points is nothing for Netflix. So let's say we gap up over here. If we retest, this definitely needs to hold. So look for a long over here. If it doesn't hold, then this is going to be the last line for Netflix, at least for the moment. Because as you can see, let's say it's following this trend line here. If for some reason we retest here, then it's, you know what I mean, it's gonna be just, we can just go and retest that trend line. So I'm not sure if I will be watching for long at this point. If we lose this, I would prefer to wait. For example, let's say we lose the pivot, then I would prefer just to see if you can reclaim some strong key levels like this 350, 365.87 is a $1 from here to here. So you have to choose wise if you're playing options. If you're playing stocks, that's 1 point. So if you take 100 shares, that's $100. If you take 1,000 shares, that's $1,000. So it depends all of your risk management. So that's something I'll watch for, the first reclaim of a key level if we break this weekly pivot, if you're looking for a long on it. But if we don't, just keep an eye on this main quarterly and this level over here, which is very important. Let's check the Apple. So Apple has been battling this week, this monthly pivot for almost what? Yeah, just you see all this is a lot of congestion over here. Tomorrow may just gap up with the market, so it's just gonna brush it off. What is it? 3 points? Maybe it's gonna gap to that point, which is gonna be very interesting. A gap up on Apple for 3 points is not unrealistic. Am I using right too? Yeah. So let me mark that. That's the key upside line in the sand right there, 201.94. Let's see how the markets react overnight to that big gap up. So those are the levels I'm going to be watching on Apple. If we can't stay above that, I'm going to watch for a retest of 194.50 and then a retest of 189.92. The main day pivots at 198.18, 198.26 is the main weekly. So that's definitely going to be the day main zone right there. That's what we're going to watch for short, for long. Let's see if we can get it. So if we gap up around here, we're going to watch for the same setup, push through, can't hold. If it does this, I am going to short it. If we hold, if it does something like this, oh, this is too long. So let's see if we do something like this. I am going to go long. If we retest this, watch for to hold support. If you hold support, maybe good long. If it doesn't support, it's going to be a great short. That's what I'm watching for. Always have a plan A, plan B. If bearish and bullish, the best you can do is be prepared. And if this happened, I'm going to do this. If that happened, I'm going to do that. That's the only thing you can do. Now, we have been very accurate in our levels. So if you have those and you'll be patient, you can have a high level of accuracy in the market. Now, one thing that I wanted to check it out, CVNA curve. Yes. So this stock was, I was not paying attention to this stock. Mailstone from Black Box mentioned about having some very nice dark pool on this stock, and I really like this chart after I'm checking it. So this is what we're looking for. Okay, so we're looking at this downside line in the sand, 61.58, together with the main pivot for this month, 62.57, which is going to form a little zone, support zone. That is going to be our key support zone, right? So if we can hold above it, our first speed bump, which we can see as a partial level, like where you take some profits, is going to be 63.74, and ultimately this is going to be the levels to beat, which is 64.86, 65.11. So as you can see, bounce right there on this previous pivot. So we did like this. We want this to hold. So hold here, push through, hold, and then we test over here, which is going to be the question mark. Are we going to be able to push through? If we push through this, I'll not be surprised to see a 67 test after that. Now, if we lose this key zone, then things can get a little bit ugly. We have this kind of, I really don't like to play trend lines, but I'm trying to click, okay. So we have kind of this trend line here. I don't know if it's a strong trend line or not, but it's something we can watch. So we'll see tomorrow according to this trend line, but I really like this setup, the chart wise, and she brought it up, that dark pool and all that good stuff, and I really liked it. So the week main pivot is going to be 62.90. This is going to be right here. It's going to be the day main zone where we ideally want us to stay above it. So holding this, we want to go long, and then we take partials on the way up. I really like this setup, to be honest. So we'll see. Okay, let's check Amazon. So Amazon was not looking great chart-wise until we got that China news. We can actually save the setup for the longs. As you can see, was doing that setup that I like. The push through can hold and do like this. I'm probably going to retest over here next. But with the news, we can just gap up like a lot. Amazon gaps up a lot. The key support line on this gap is going to be right here. The 1950 90s. And the upside key resistance. Let me check the chart a little bit more. Just want to see if there is more information. And here. Yep. And we have, yeah. See, that's funny. And we have this little pocket zone here. So the upside targets will be 1938-31, 1967 to 1978. Now this 1978 is going to be the make it or break it on Amazon. We really need to push through this hold, and then we can retest the next pivots, which is going to be the 95 and the 2014 pivots. Okay, let me. So on that gap up, if we don't hold this, we're going to retest first. Oops, on this one. First, we're going to retest this 1902. If we can hold that, we're going to retest the 1893. If we don't hold that, we're going to retest the 1874. And then if you can't hold that, then we're going to retest 1843, 1850. So those are the short side, the downside targets, the upside targets. So just play what the chart gives you. The main weekly zone is going to be 1894.30. So this is going to be our entire main day zone right here. It's going to be a big zone, but not that big. It's 2 points for Amazon. 3 points is nothing. So this is going to be the key zone for Amazon tomorrow. Right here. If it gets there, watch it closely. Put alerts, price alerts near that area. It's going to be the how Shorthammer calls the swinging door. Either going to go up or going to go down right here. So that's the war zone. Have your price alert set. And let's see what happens tomorrow. If you guys had any other stocks that you want me to check it out, please let me know. Let's see, what else? Let's check real quick where we are on futures. Back at the 2650. So 9 p.m. So in 2 hours, this candle is gonna close. Is it 2 hours? No, in 1 hour, this candle is gonna close. And if it closes like this, it definitely doesn't look good. This is a shooting star doji, so it's not a good sign if it closes like that, but we'll see. Let's check the intraday on ES real quick, just to see how that pivot is reacting. Yeah, so you can see it's hanging there. This is gonna take some time to load. Trying to get there. Give me 1 second. Yeah, it's just the futures have more information to load than the regular stocks that don't trade 24/7 almost. I know it's not 24/7, but it's way more hours than the regular stock. So it's hanging there. It's doing this flag. So don't like to grab wicks, but probably gonna have to. So it's trying. We'll see. It needs to reclaim, like I said, that pivot, this line over here. Let me check if I don't have any other stocks. We checked. Let's check NVDA. And let's check Qualcomm too. Those are Qualcomm is gonna be gonna have a lot of influence on with the China news. So NVIDIA probably gonna gap up above this resistance level. I'll be watching this. If you're long, watch this level for take profits, or at least a partial. I want to watch this level as well. Not quite there. Okay, so we're gonna watch those two levels on the upside. The downside line in the sand is gonna be this zone here, this entire zone. So that's something to watch. If we can break above this, next is gonna be 175. Tomorrow, just let me load here. Checking where is the weekly pivot. Oh, where is the weekly pivot? Is it that one? 69. Just trying to find it. Okay, so this is gonna be the main zone for tomorrow. With everything gapping up, it's gonna be hard. So you have to wait for that pullback, in my opinion, because things can try to, but people can try to take some profits off. So watch for that 165. This is gonna be, if you gap up, this is where it has to hold right here, 165.50. if we gap up above that. And then we go for those next levels. Okay, guys, if you don't have any other stocks for me to check, I'm gonna end up over here. I'll give you a few more minutes to let me know. Meanwhile, I'm gonna check gold. Couldn't stay there. Check G. It's trying, and G's trying. And oil. Yeah. Okay, guys. So enjoy your night, and thank you so much for participating over the Sunday prep. Take care and see you tomorrow at 7 a.m.